Yeah, so let's look at some college baseball stuff here. So again, it's been a consensus every week thing that we've talked about this season so far is Northern Illinois. They swept Central Michigan this weekend, 29-13 overall. They are 19-8 in the MAC, which is good for second in the conference so far this year. So shout out to Northern Illinois. They just keep doing it. Illinois State swept Valpo this weekend. They're 30-17 overall, 12-9 in the Valley. Illinois Chicago won their series over Evansville. They're 12-6 in the Valley. Eastern Illinois swept SEMO this weekend, 28-15 overall, 15-6 in the OVC. Northwestern won their series over Indiana, and then SIUE swept Lindenwood, so they are 27-21, and then they're 15-6 in the OVC. Let's see here. So we got UIC is tied for first in the Valley. Illinois State is a game and a half back in the Valley. And then Eastern Illinois and SIUE are both tied for first in the OVC. So some good stuff all around from programs here in Illinois.
Fires me up. You got some good baseball coming out of the state, and a lot of Illinois products that are doing it at those schools. And I didn't realize this. So Illinois State, they've won 30 games now, Gavin, and some of their top arms have gone down throughout the season, and they're still figuring it out. Like Braden Zillis has gotten a chance on the mound as a true freshman for them. He was, in their lineup a couple times as a position player. He and Jackson Natanik were two-way guys that they recruited that are freshmen that are impacting their team right now. But Zillis is throwing the ball well on the mound in his limited starts, but Lucas Foley was a guy that had been lights out for them, and I was just trying to pull up the stats because they've been without him now for a while. He had a 1.19 ERA, had given up 13 hits in 22 plus innings. He's a Chicagoland product coming out of high school. So really, really impressive what they're doing. I don't think they have Henry Brummel right now either. So just to add a little bit more color there to what Illinois State's doing. And then I just constantly am peeking at as many stats as I can across college baseball. And you mentioned SIU Edwardsville. They swept Lindenwood. They're 27-21 on the year. And we've mentioned this guy multiple times because he just continues to lead their offense. But Ryan Nedved out of West Aurora, former pro case guy for us, but he's hitting 339. And when I was looking last, he had 20 home runs. So within the last day or two, he hit another one because he's got 21 home runs right now for SIU Edwardsville, 55 RBIs, a 417 OBP. He's got 12 doubles, 27 walks to 31 strikeouts. So, hitting for that kind of power and having your walk to strikeout ratio being that close speaks to his, bat to ball, plate discipline, that sort of thing. So just wanted to shout him out again because he's been a guy I've been tracking all season.
You mentioned Northwestern took 2 or 3 from Indiana. That made me want to dig into Jack Lausch. He's hitting 314 on the year right now with 12 jacks and 13 doubles. So he's really figured it out. It's his second full year after, or I guess it's his first full year from taking a step away from football, but still just one of the cooler stories that, we've seen, I would say, just going to Northwestern to play football, not even play baseball, and then basically just jump back into it, and now you're hitting over 300. That just speaks to the athlete he is, and I mean, he's going to have a chance to hear his name called this summer in the draft, I would say for sure now.
Those numbers, he must be on a heater right now too, because those numbers have elevated pretty quickly, I would say, over the last month.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because I checked a few days ago, and he was hitting 290 something. So he must have had a good week against Indiana.
Yeah. And Northwestern and Indiana got to play at Wrigley, I saw. Kind of pretty cool. Wrigley's doing some stuff here with those college programs, high school programs. I know you got to see Brother Rice play over there against Mount Carmel. And I think Northwestern lost that game at Wrigley, and then they won the next 2 up in Evanston over Indiana.
Do you think that, I was wondering this, is that because of the connection with Jack? I think it's Jack Council that plays for Northwestern, right? And his dad, is that what would have gotten them there, or do you think do they just typically do this anyway?
Well, the football team plays there
Okay.
basically every year, just about almost every year. So there's probably something with the athletic department, but I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Like Jack does play there
I
as
think
well. I
it's
saw.
Jack. I think that's the
Yeah.
his son that plays there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really don't know, but that definitely, I would imagine, doesn't hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
for
hey,
sure.
Craig, go talk to the higher ups for us here and
Yeah.
make this happen. Yeah, definitely could be the case. But I mean, with NIU being, or with Northwestern being right up there in Evanston in the location, it does make a ton of sense.
Yeah. Well, Drew, you were kind of talking about some Illinois guys here, and every week conferences will put out their player of the week, pitcher of the week, and this week in the Valley, all 4 awards went to Illinois products. Illinois State, Michael Serrano Jr., he's a 2023 grad out of St. Lawrence, was the MVC newcomer of the week. He hit 473 with 5 runs scored, 8 RBIs, 2 home runs. And then Braden Bakes, again, he is a 4-time Missouri Valley Player of the Week now. Hit 562 last week with 7 runs scored, 4 RBIs, 3 doubles, and a home run. And then at UIC, we've got Sean Cody, a freshman. He was their MVC Freshman of the Week. He was a 2025 grad out of Richards. And then Mason Lee, a 2023 grad at Freeport, earned the Missouri Valley Pitcher of the Week. So all Illinois guys tearing it up in the Valley last week.
Are all those for Braden this year?
Yes.
So
Yep.
he's on like Player of the Year watch, I would say, right? He's got to be.
I would think for that
Yeah,
conference.
that's absurd.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
you
that's
don't
what I
see
meant.
Fords. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like you don't see. Well, shoot, and he's probably on some All-American lists too when you talk about nationwide. But like, you don't see 4-time Player of the Weeks very often.
No.
Especially a really quality conference like that. I'm gonna stick with giving some shout outs here. We mentioned my alma mater last week, Indiana Southeast. They got into conference play, their conference tournament. They ended up winning it. It's the River States Conference. It's NAIA baseball, but they're 39-14 overall. By winning that conference tournament, they kind of give themselves that automatic bid into the national tournament, and it's changed a little bit since when I was around way back in the day. So I don't want to speak totally to the format, but they'll get some postseason play there, which fires me up. And a little Illinois love there too is Brendan Whalen. His dad Troy is the head coach at Grays Lake Central, one of their top arms. He's got a 3.24 ERA. He's thrown 75 innings, 63 hits, only 16 walks on the year, so he's filling up the zone, and he struck out 66. Also, Tucker Shalley was a name that I saw is down at Indiana Southeast now. Like, he was an Illinois commit out of Prophetstown a few years back. Long levered right-hander that I really liked out of high school. So that was just another name that kind of brought me back looking at that. And then another name, Brandon Rogers, leading Purdue in hitting right now. He's a Mount Carmel grad, 2022, hitting 369 with 6 doubles and 5 home runs. And he hasn't played, all the games. He's kind of played a little bit more than half from what I saw in the stats. And he's their center fielder. And I've seen multiple highlights of him like crashing into walls, making catches. So, hopefully he's not hurt at this present moment. But Brandon Rogers, former future gamer for us, a high-level athlete, fun to see him doing his thing over there at Purdue. As we're talking here, Gav, Nick shot over a little note, and I don't know if it warrants being in this week or not, but going back to the beginning of the podcast and talking about college performers, Tyler Bell at Kentucky, he earned SEC Co-Player of the Week honors. Looked like he hit 538 on the week with 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 home runs. I actually saw video of one of the home runs. He was hitting right-handed off a lefty. He's a switch hitter, and it was an absolute tank. The only question was if it was fair or foul. But it seemed like it cleared the left field wall by 100 feet. So really tapping into like some plus power, to where if he's showing that with the switch hitting ability, the shortstop ability, the bat to ball skills, the plate discipline, I expect to see his name, in the draft here coming up in one of the early rounds, I would think. And then too, I mentioned earlier about Tucker Shalley being on that IUS Indiana Southeast roster. He's actually from Jersey, Illinois. I was thinking of Clayton Johnson from Prophetstown, who was an Illinois commit back in the day, another large-bodied, smaller town prospect with a good arm. But yeah, Tucker Shalley went to Jersey High School.